and I saw my neighbor's cat on the fence, and the cat is usually pretty good about staying inside the fence. And Neville, the cat's name is Neville, black and white, and he was on the fence. And then there's this neighboring feral cat, and they were giving each other the evil eye. So I went out there and I said, Neville, go home. He didn't listen to me. So my neighbor had her windows open and she heard me talking to the cat. So she came out and Neville jumped off the fence and was in my yard by the time I got out and started yelling at her. So that was my excitement at 10 to 7. So Marguerite's here, and hi, how are you? And Robin, hi Robin from Georgia, and Rick's retirement journey. Hi Rick, greetings from Virginia. And we were both on a channel the other day, Evie's channel. Marguerite, that was her kitty's middle name, Ashley Neville. So Neville, isn't that an English name? I think. I don't know. So how is everybody tonight? It's been kind of a long week for me, but I'll survive. And I wanted to talk a little bit if things get slow here. Senior citizens you probably don't know about, and the one that piqued my interest, and I'm going to pop it up real quick. Oh, now it wants my email address. I don't want to give it to them. National parks. If you're a senior citizen, you can get an annual pass for life. Well, they call it annual pass, but it's a pass for life. It's $80. And there's a couple steps you have to take. You have to go to specific places, and sometimes they run out of, I guess, their vouchers for senior citizens. So you kind of have to do a little bit of research before you do that. Oh, Marguerite, I forgot. You live in Michigan. I bet it is pretty up there. My kitty Eppie's middle name, not Ashley. Oh, it was Eppie's middle name. Tutu. Robin's doing good. I'm glad to hear you're doing good. And it is still really warm here in Indiana. We're in a drought. And Monday, I took a road trip to Amish country in Indiana. There's a lot of cornfields, and the farmers are out in the fields harvesting, and the dust. Oh my gosh, it's bad. And Robin, I'm fine, Robin. And Marguerite got up to 78. That's warm for northern Michigan. I think that's about where we're at today. So it's been, like I said, really dry here, and getting kind of worried. I worry too much. I have some small limbs that I want to chop up, and I've got a little wood chipper thing. It's electric, and I'm kind of afraid to use it until after a good rain because I don't want to start any sparks and start a fire or something. That's the last thing I need. I get in verbal fires just talking. So, yeah, it would be smart. I try to think ahead. And let's see, I just uploaded my September budget video, and I'm still learning how to do all this on YouTube. I'm a retired accountant, so I'm a spreadsheet person. And I made a spreadsheet. Oh yeah, Marguerite, you were in Buzz's garage too. And so I put a little spreadsheet on my September budget. So if you guys ever watch it, let me know what you think. Oh, Marguerite, you're an Excel queen too. Yay! I try to keep my brain engaged because well, I'm getting older, and I keep reading, your mental health is just as important as your physical health, and they say you should do things that stretch the brain, so I try to do that. And let's see here. So I made this little spreadsheet, and I put it on my video. And a couple of you go to Buzz's garage, and I kind of got the idea from Buzz. I'll give him the credit, but he has a big dry erase board, and he writes everything out and what he, his expenses for the month. Well, my handwriting is really, really bad. Spreadsheets are the way to go for me because my handwriting's not very good. So, what else? Oh, any senior discounts. Let me see if I can pull this up without them wanting my name and address. I had a list, and the list is gone. I'm trying to do two things at once here. Amazon can offer up to a 50% off on monthly Prime memberships. Oh, for seniors who receive government assistance, including Medicaid and supplemental security income. I don't know how many people that would involve. I saw one for Kohl's. Where was that? Oh, Kohl's. Shoppers 60 and up can stop by any Kohl's location on Wednesdays to get a 15% off on selected brand names. So that's kind of good to know. Hi, Michelle. Michelle from clear across the country. Rick says working part-time in a bookstore exercises the mind and the body. A lot of engaging with customers. That would be kind of a fun job. I was in we've got a used bookstores called Hyde Brothers. I think it's local. And it's kind of fun to go walk in there. You could spend hours roaming through a bookstore. Let's see if I missed anybody. Marguerite is talking with Robin, and she said it's getting down into the 40s at night, but she still likes to sleep with her window open. Oh, it feels so good to have a window open all night. And Marguerite's an English major. Oh no. I hope my grammar's good tonight. What else? Well, Monday I went to Shipshewana, and it was kind of funny. I was on the road. I was at a corner. I was getting ready to turn left, and there's this young lady in a Amish buggy. She was a teenager, and she was reading a book. I guess the horse knew its way home. So, an Amish buggy is better than an electric car. It knows how to get home, and you don't have to pay attention. I thought that was kind of funny. So Marguerite's heard of Shipsy. I have eaten at Essen House. It's been a while. And right now they are doing their oh, they always have decorations. Their fall decorations at Essen House. Oh, they have a huge wagon with pumpkins. It's a real pretty display. And then there's the Blue Gate Conference Center, and they have a really cool display too. They've got the scarecrows and everything. In fact, I took pictures, and I was debating doing a video about it, but I'm not sure how to do it. You know what? My goal being a new YouTube content creator is to learn something new every week. And so I have all these still pictures, and I want to somehow make a video. I'm not quite sure how to do it. I need to do my homework on that. But yes, Shipshewana is a neat place. And have you ever been to Middlebury? That's near Shipshewana. And that's a cool place to go to also. And I'm in the northern half of Indiana, so it's a bit of a drive to get there, but up near the Michigan border, the hills that there's rolling hills and it's just different. It's different than where I am. And I think going to Shipshewana and Middlebury, it's kind of like going back in time, kind of like what I remember when I was growing up. Rick's gonna be right back. And have I missed anybody? I don't think I have. So, um, kind of run out of things to talk about. And it's only 7-Eleven. Oh, Marguerite grew up in Coldwater, Michigan. That's just I think it's the first town if you're driving up 69, I think Coldwater is like the first town that you come to. So you're right. In fact, last summer, um, I bought a new car a year ago. Well, what is it? A year and a half ago, I bought a new to me car and I retired. I left my job last July of 2024. And I decided to take my first road trip to Michigan. And I got about 2 miles south of Michigan. I was behind an RV van. And all of a sudden, I saw this huge rectangle thing coming at me. It was the rubber around a window or something. It hit my windshield. And I pulled over. I was just shaking. I was so scared. And I thought, what do I do? And the windshield it didn't completely crack, but it was pretty damaged. So I got back on the interstate and I got off at the intersection of Coldwater Road. I pulled over and called the police and the police officer said I could drive home with it. I mean, it was shattered. The whole driver's side was shattered. And he said, "Well, I think you can drive back home." And I said, "No." And he said, "Well," and I said, one of my kids was going to come and pick me up. And they said, "Well, your child could drive you home, could drive your car." And I said, "If I'm not driving it, nobody's driving it." And it turned out I had like $6,800 of damage done to my car. And of course, the RV driver probably never knew that this big rubber thing fell off until he went to his campsite. So yes, I feel kind of blessed. Nobody got hurt except my car. Oh, that was bad. And honestly, I've been a little scared to drive ever since then, and I'm trying to get over it. And yeah, that was a freak accident. And that's that story. Now I'm afraid to go to Michigan. Marguerite, have you ever been to oh, I forget the name of the state park now. It's in Tipton, Michigan. I think it's Hidden Lake Park, and I've been there a couple times, and it's really pretty there in the fall. So my daughter and I are going to go there in a couple weeks. She's working on a huge project at work, and I think the project will be done the end of this week. So after that, she's kind of in the clear to do that. Yeah, Tipton's is a small town, and anything in Michigan's pretty. I grew up in Michigan, but it's kind of near the Irish Hills, and it's just rolling pretty. At not big mountains, but it's just a nice place to go. And there's lots of trees and stuff. Um, so what have you guys been up to this week? I've been kind of following. I don't want to get political, but a little bit interesting. Okay, so it's a bit of a drive from your house. Of course, the government shut down yesterday, and I did a little research online, and Social Security won't be affected. It sounds like um, you know, people that really need stuff, those those divisions won't be shut down. But the reason I was going with this is I'd heard that the 2026 COLA was supposed to come out on October 1st. And now they don't know when it's gonna come out, but they're guessing it's gonna be like 2.7%. Yeah, Marguerite, I guess there's gonna be changes in Medicare, the different premiums. I found a really good person to help me with deciding what kind of plan I need to go on. Hi, Leisure. Um, I've forgotten your name. Is it Mary? I don't remember. So, so yeah, I got a letter from my insurance person that takes care of me, and she said you need to get in touch with us immediately. And yes, your name is Mary. Good. And there could be changes next year. Unfortunately, I don't take a whole lot of medicine. My thyroid's the main one. I think a lot of women and probably men have low thyroid, so unfortunately that's a lower cost prescription. So how are you today, Mary? But my insurance is Aetna. Okay, Marguerite, Stephanie ABTS agency. She does regular YouTube Medicare videos. That's good to know. Mary's having a lazy day. That sounds good to me. But my insurance is through Aetna, and I found out CVS drugstores owns Aetna, and we got a perk. Um, every 3 months, we got a $75. I guess it's kind of a voucher. If you found stuff with a blue label, you got it for free, up to $75. And so we could use that quarterly, and they're doing away with it next year. And it all helps that you could buy vitamins and band-aids, and some other stuff was kind of weird. You could like if you're diabetic, it'll pay for parts of one thing but not for the others. I didn't quite understand that. Let's see, Marguerite. Oh, so yeah, we'll have to try see what Stephanie Ab's agency is about. It's so hard. I know I really paid attention the year I turned 65 because you have all these different options whether to go on the different things. Now that I've done it, I've kind of forgotten about it. But I did go talk to two different insurance people, and I went with the one that I felt more comfortable with it. But there's so many different options, and if you if you go with the Part D, I think, and you only have a year to change your mind to go back to the regular old Medicare, and it's a lot to think about. So I just kind of I believe in in stuff like this. You find a trusted person, and then you just you just have to have faith that they know what they're talking about, and the lady I use does. And Robin's thankful that her supplement isn't too high. Oh, Simply Michelle, she's walking to the community garden. You've shown videos of it, and it's so pretty there. Marguerite wants to know if Michelle has her own patch there. My nose itches. I will try to be discreet about it. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. And Michelle says she should know next month about premium insurance for 2026. Oh, Mary says money's coming. Boy, do I wish. I ought to be wealthy by now. So, my mom used to have all these tales, wives' tales and stuff. I never really paid attention to them much, but I know my mother-in-law, when she was alive, she used to eat black peas and cabbage on New Year's Day. I should have received my premium already, 5 Part D. I did get a packet in the mail. It does detail things. That's how I knew about the insurance. Oh, the CVS thing. Michelle has a 4 by 12-foot bed. Well, that's pretty good size. Um, I have raised beds, and I have 3 that are 4 by 8 feet. So you have like one and a half of what I have. Oh, Michelle said she'll find out next month. Okay. And yeah, I'm supposed to call my insurance agent, and I haven't yet. Maybe tomorrow. That's the trouble with being retired. Oh, I can do that tomorrow, and a week or 2 goes by, and did you do that yet? And the answer is no. Um, I don't know if anybody watches my videos much, but I had this tomato that looked like the Grinch. I kind of I kind of had a little bit of fun with him. Well, when it came out of the garden, he was green, and then he turned red, and he's in the trash can now. He he was pretty defective, so I didn't want to eat him. And well, let's see if there's any other cool senior citizen soapbox. Yeah, there you go. Doesn't guarantee health. See if there's any other good senior citizen discounts. I got as far as Kohl's. Um, T-Mobile has some plans if you're over 55. Amtrak has discounts. Hertz has discounts. Denny's. I don't think we have a Denny's around us anymore. Chili's has a 10% off their check, excluding alcohol. It doesn't say if it's a certain day or not. Oh, here we go. The National Park Service. If you're 62 or older, you can purchase a senior annual pass for $20 or opt for a senior lifetime pass of $80. But you have to notify or go to the park or get some kind of communication to find out for sure. Marguerite says it should be called sick insurance. Isn't that the truth? Mary says she has a supplement and Part D through former employer, which makes things confusing, but they pay part of it. And Michelle's she's 27 years in healthcare, and the medication lists have grown. I'm sure they have. Mary has T-Mobile. I'm sorry, T-Mobile. I have a prepaid cell phone, and it's Verizon Wireless, and I guess they're unlocked phones. I I use a phone till it really dies. So I don't buy phones very often, but I think if they're unlocked, you can use them anywhere. So I just have a Samsung, and I pay $38 a month for unlimited calling and texting. So I think that's a pretty good price. Michelle says insurance is more like damage control. And Mary had a prepaid phone, but she had that but paid for 5 hours a month. My gosh, that was probably a long time ago. I don't have a house phone anymore either. When the election for 2016, it was 2015. Nobody called me anymore. The only people that called me were the pollsters, are you Republican? Are you Democrat? And I thought, well, why am I paying to have these annoying phone calls? So I got rid of my landline. And I don't know too many. My mom still has a landline, but I don't know too many people that still have them. Hi, Rick, you're back. And Marguerite, you worked in the insurance industry for 20 years. Oh gosh, I bet you have all kinds of information. I worked, I haven't worked in insurance. I worked at a life insurance company back in the 90s, and that was bad enough. Um, Marguerite says Medicare was still amazed to me. It's a unique animal. It sure is. And unfortunately, after COVID, I don't trust doctors as much as I used to. That's probably kind of sad. And then I don't know, they sometimes I think they sometimes I think they try to make us sicker than we really are. Rick says he's not a Republican, he's not a Democrat, he's retired. We need to start a retired party. And Marguerite, you're right. We do have to be our own advocates. We have to think critically, constructive criticism. I know my doctor, my cholesterol's right around 200, and she wants me to take medicine for it. And I refuse to take it. So I'm still here. Robin says in her state, senior citizens get help with electric bills and heating, and it sure does help. Marguerite, isn't this the retired party? Yes, we're having a party here. I have my glass of water. That's how much I party. I get on Facebook sometimes and there's the question that pops up. Um, what's the last thing you drank because you get it free for a year? And I usually go, oh darn, it's just water. Hi, Sacred Wonders in Maine. What are some of the best discounts you have found? For example, our local state parks are free for those of us over 65. Well, that's a great one. I found national parks have a senior discount, and that's kind of what started my search for discounts for seniors. And I saw somewhere Kohl's has sales. You'd have to look at the Kohl's. And then Kroger had a senior discount on the first, and they don't publicize it very well. And I don't know how often Kohl's, or not Kohl's, but Kroger's has senior discounts, but they're out there. You have to look for them. Mary says the restaurants usually want to give you smaller meals, and she's a little piggy. I would take the smaller meals. Um, is speaking of discounts, I guess I don't eat out much, but I've heard that you get better deals at lunchtime than at dinner time. So if you're being more economical, at lunchtime's a good time to go to restaurants. So, um, I'm kind of a picky eater. And, I stay away from breads, and it's kinda hard to eat out. Everything's on a bun or it's breaded this or breaded that, so so it's kinda hard. Mary, she gets Chinese at lunch. Now that's a good option. You've got your rice and your veggies, and that's probably but I guess it doesn't fill you up, so you're hungry a few hours later. I went to when I was in Shipshewana Monday, I went to a store. It wasn't a store, it was a restaurant. It's called the Corn Crib. And so I sat down and the waitress, she was really nice. And I said, "Well, have you got any corn on the menu?" And she kind of looked at me. I said, "Well, it's the Corn Crib restaurant." She goes, "Oh," and she started laughing. And so I ended up trying a quesadilla. It was a vegetarian one. It had sweet potatoes, it had corn in it and black beans. It was pretty good. Marguerite, she's a very picky eater. Oh, she lost her sense of taste and smell when she had COVID. Did you get your sense of taste and smell back? Oh, Marguerite, you're a vegetarian. I'm kinda I don't eat meat every day, and, I try to do protein. My nose is itching again. I'm so sorry. There's one lady I watch on YouTube sometimes, and I don't know why, but she can't taste anything. I don't know if she had COVID and her taste never came back, but she kinda jokes about it sometimes. She'll eat anything because she can't taste it anymore. I've kind of enjoyed eating out of my garden. I've had a lot of tomatoes and zucchini, so I've been replacing pasta with zucchini, so it's probably better for you. So do any of you have any, things you like to do in the fall? Like, do you have favorite lattes or scented candles or anything? Ooh, Marguerite says, "With all the long COVID symptoms, I consider myself lucky. I can't taste things, but a lot of things taste," and she has that in quotes, "like dirty ashtrays." Oh, that sounds awful. Sacred Wonders, Maine. Do you have allergies? I'm assuming you're talking about me. Maybe, maybe not. Nasal sprays are supposed to help, and yes, I do the nasal sprays. And Rick's retirement journey says veggies equal good health. And I forget where I saw this now, but one person had allergies and they were eating an antihistamine diet. And I found that kind of interesting because allergies, our bodies are irritated. No wonder I'm grumpy. My body's irritated. Mary's not very pumpkin oriented. Sacred Wonders, Maine. She loves pumpkin spice anything, especially hot chocolate. Oh, that sounds so good. I like pumpkin spice stuff. Um, I used up my poor zucchini. I used up the last of my zucchini. I made a spice zucchini muffin and I poured. I put lots of spices in, the cinnamon and cloves and nutmeg and ginger, and it was pretty good. I like walking in the fall when the leaves are on the ground and smelling the leaves. I forget what the scent is called. It'll come to me later. But I just love the scent of the leaves. Um, I I haven't done this in quite a while, but I'll make oatmeal and I'll open up a can of a can of pumpkin puree, and I'll put a couple tablespoons in with the oatmeal, and then I add spices. So I like eating that in the wintertime. And Sacred Wonders, I didn't know you could can zucchini. And Rick's retirement journey likes to research plants to identify which would be helpful for medicinal, I can't say that word, medical purposes is close enough. Treating with herbs is a very interesting topic, and it's what people did for thousands of years, and there's lots to learn. Well, it's like the dandelion. I mean, the dandelion leaves and roots, you can eat the whole thing. And it's got a lot of good for you. And okay, Sacred Wonder, she will use it for mock pineapple. I saw a recipe where they cubed up the zucchini and it was a mock apple pie. So that's probably kind of the same thing. So does zucchini get really, really wilted and lose its shape when you can it? I find that kind of curious, interesting. And I hope we kind of do get back to nature. That's the way God planned the earth. I've got sage and rosemary and thyme growing in my garden, and I have three kinds of mint. I have a chocolate mint I put in my tea, and oh, it tastes so good. And actually, with all my sinus problems, if I throw some mint leaves in my tea, I think the aroma of the mint helps clear up my sinuses. Anything that'll help me without needing to use medicine is a win-win for me. I'm gonna take a drink of water real quick. Sacred Wonders, do you have a website? I'm just not a website. Do you have a YouTube channel? I can't tell if a person is just a person or an actual YouTube channel. But Sacred Wonders, if you have a channel, I'd be kind of interested to watch you. Sacred Wonders just sounds like a cool name. Mary says methanol, the blue jar. Is that kind of like Vicks? I found a year or so ago, Vicks has a lavender scent, and sometimes if I have trouble falling asleep, I'll put just a little dab of lavender Vicks on my nostrils, and it helps calm me down. Let's see what else. I have sorry. I have 8 grandchildren, and six of them have birthdays between now and Christmas. So I had 2 in September, and then I have 3 more in October. My one grandson, his birthday's tomorrow, and then his 2 sisters are later in the month. So we celebrate birthdays all season long in my neck of the woods. Yes, it costs money having grandchildren. My son has 8. No, my son doesn't have 8. My son has 6 children, and my daughter has 2. So Sacred Wonders used to have a YouTube channel. Having a YouTube channel does get complicated. In fact, I'm getting close to having 4,000 view hours. I have like 3,725. And I'm starting to think this is a job. And you put a lot of time into doing it, creating a video, and then you get a few views, and they're, oh man, I spent all this time doing that. But I do enjoy the process. And Marguerite says it is a lot of effort, and you don't realize until you're behind the scenes and actually producing a video. And then I do a lot of edits because I do and so I have to edit it out. Well, thank you, Sacred Wonders. I it's nice to hear I'm doing a great job. And I got really fortunate when I started off. I'm a retired accountant, so once a month I talk about my budget and Social Security and stuff. And those have been my big hit videos. But that's just a small part of me. I enjoy other things too. Marguerite says people at work told me she should do tutorials on Excel, but it sounds like too much work to me. I don't consider myself a teacher. You must be able to teach well, Marguerite, for people to suggest that. I just realized my vacuum cleaner's right here. Well, thank you, Marguerite, for finding my channel. I really do appreciate that. And Mary, I am finding out that living on Social Security videos do well. And um I kind of I can't think of the right word. I beat to my own drum. I drum to my own beat. I say things backwards. But I enjoy gardening and nature photography, and there's a lot of things I enjoy. It's not just budgeting, but budgeting seems to be what sells. I throw those in there because they're well, I enjoy watching other people talk about their financial journey. Yes, march to the beat of my own drum. One time when I was in college, I went back to school in my 30s, and I had to take a PE class. I think I've mentioned this before. And they had line dancing, and this is back in the 90s. I think I just said that. And I'm left-handed. I'm very left-handed. And in line dancing, you have to do everything right-handed. You have to do it like everybody else. And that was a tough class for me because I kept thinking, think right, think right, think right. Marguerite went back. She went back to school in her 50s. Well, good for you. And Mary says Buzz talks about this and that, but he still does his monthly budget. I make sure I'm tuned in. I didn't watch him yesterday. He did a short one. And then I saw today he had a video back behind the scenes of how to do a video. And I haven't had time to watch it yet, but it's on my list. Yeah, his monthly budget's out. Maybe I saw a short clip, and then I found out I think he did it live or something. I've been kind of busy the last couple of days. I haven't been on YouTube much, which is probably a good thing. I well, being 2 Sundays ago now, it was the day of Charlie Kirk's memorial service. I just found the whole event upsetting, that what all happened. So I decided to do a silent Sunday. I guess I kind of talked about this last week now that I think about it. And I discovered how much time I was wasting on the internet. And I do have my favorite channels that I watch, and I'm pretty loyal, but there are times, here's my cell phone. I catch myself. Are you scrolling again? I'm going, yes. I've been trying to be more conscientious of what I watch lately. And I think a lot of us are that way, Mary. We try to watch our favorite channels. We try to watch them all the time. But sometimes we're just busy. And I have one channel I watch. She does a couple different topics. And I like her one topic, but I don't like the others. She does grocery hauls and cooks and I watch once in a while, but I like her other content. I live in the northern half of Indiana, Timothy, and I'm glad you stopped by. And my grandson just graduated from Purdue in the middle of the state. We have to be safe, and I don't like to um, say exactly where I live. So just being cautious. I hate to have to be that way, but we have to be prudent and be aware of our surroundings. So I kind of watch what I do. And Rick's retirement, you've had quite a life. I kind of remember some of your stories. He went to college in his early 40s for him after he retired from the military. And he earned a BA in international affairs, and it bettered his reading, writing, and researching skills. And college definitely does do that. And thank you, Mary. It is wise. And one thing I don't talk about a whole lot, but especially as a single woman, if I go anywhere, I always contact one person so they know where I'm at. And actually, I volunteered at a local nature preserve. It's been a while. I don't get out as much as I used to. And they told us anytime that we go to the nature preserve, please call a friend or someone at the nature preserve to let someone know that they're there. I mean, you just never know. So Timothy, he understand his family's from White County. That must be in southern Indiana. I don't recognize the county. So back to college, I went back to college in my mid 30s and I went part-time. Took me 8 years to graduate with a bachelor's and then um I got laid off. I got my degree in accounting and I got laid off. So I went to the unemployment office and they said, well, it was before computers were real popular. And she says, well, go look in the book under accounting. So I said, well, I already did. There's no jobs open for accountants. And she marches me back to the room where all the books are. She goes, oh, there's no jobs for accountants. So the unemployment office advised that I needed to get another degree. And I said, I'm sorry, I've already had one. Timothy says White County's 20 miles from Purdue, which includes Monticello. Rick, yes, I did graduate. And then after I got laid off, I did go back and I got my MBA. I graduated with that in 2005, I think. And I'm still paying student loans on that one. I'm glad I went to school, but taking out student loans was the dumbest financial thing I ever did. And honestly, um, I've been laid off. I'm the laid off queen. In the accounting word, I was always uh, last in, first out. LIFO. Yeah, last in, first out. I'd be the newest person on the staff and be the first one to get laid off. So I got my MBA degree, and some of the feedback I got was people didn't hire me because they assumed I A wanted their job or B I wanted more money than what they were willing to pay. So getting an MBA has its pluses and minuses. Marguerite, it was easier as a grad student. And I found out I was regurgitating what I learned as an undergrad. So I'm not sure how much I learned. Mary, LIFO, last in, first out. I knew I was getting it mixed up. Marguerite, she was when she was trying to decide to change careers and return to grad school, she said to her brother, "But I'll be 55 when I graduate." And he said, "You'll be 52 either way." Well, that's really good. Marguerite, that's what kept her from getting a master's degree is because she didn't want to price herself out. And in some ways, you're probably wise. I have one child that has a master's degree and she's done well. And the other one, he's a mechanic and he does well. So I guess you need to go where your heart leads you in the job market. Marguerite, she got the job. She got the I can't talk. She got the degree and got the job she wanted after all. Well, that's really good to hear. I I'm gonna have another drink of water. It really is just water. I enjoyed working, but I could tell towards the end cognitive cognitively I was starting to slow down a little bit. So I retired at 65 and a half. And right now, my big pastime is doing in-depth Bible studies. And I just like researching the background. And I kind of sometimes I think, are you doing head knowledge or heart knowledge? I think it's more head knowledge sometimes, but it keeps me engaged and I enjoy that. I'm trying to read the stuff here. Timothy, you're very right. He says we actually need less people going to college and more taking up a trade. And I have I have 8 grandchildren. I have 8. I have 3 that have graduated from high school. One is she's undecided what she wants to do. And then the grandson who has a birthday tomorrow, he'll be 17 and he wants to be a mechanic like his dad. There's nothing wrong with that. Marguerite was in child welfare. Oh gosh, I'm sure that's stressful. And um, Marguerite, yes, Charlie Kirk. Now there was an example of a very intelligent person, and look how well he did. Um, very intelligent, and he was probably smarter than the professors. But he knew what he wanted. He had a passion, and he went for it. He was kind of like an entrepreneur in a way. Mary needs a good mechanic. My son's a mechanic. And then my ex-husband, I've been divorced a long time. We get along pretty well. And if I have any home repairs, I call him. Oh, was Charlie homeschooled? Marguerite and Leisha are talking about being homeschooled. And if I had children now, I would definitely homeschool them. Oh, Simply Michelle's Budget Life, Durable Trades it's a book to read. Oh, I haven't heard of that before. I'm looking for a pencil. I see paper. I don't have a pencil in front of me, but I think I can go back and look at my video. But Durable Trades, that sounds like a good book to read. And talking about Charlie being a self-learner, um, you can spoon feed kids all you want, but if they don't want to learn, they're not going to learn. And I think it's the same. Well, when I went back to college, I was in my mid 30s, and I hung out with the people my age, but you could tell the students that were 18 and mom and dad were footing the bill versus us working adults going to college. We really wanted to learn. And Marguerite, yes, Hillsdale College has a lot of great online courses. I didn't know Charlie took 39 of them. That's interesting. Rick retired at 67 because he didn't feel satisfied any longer. He couldn't stand the indecision marred with a lack of vision. Oh my goodness, that is so true. So true. It's kind of scary getting anything done anymore because they do it so haphazardly. Um, are they giving Charlie an honorary degree, Marguerite? Sacred Wonder, she retired from a school district and she says, to be honest, it's the lack of family life and parenting. And okay, yes, they're giving Charlie an honorary degree. And parenting, um, we have to be involved with our children. And actually, I think in a way, our teens need us more than a toddler. When my kids were in sports or whatever, I went to their games and their band concerts, and I knew that they were glad that I was there. They didn't have to say much, but I knew that I was appreciated for going. And I didn't do for the honor of it. I did it because I love my children and I wanted to be active in their lives. Let's see. That is the biggest problem is lack of family life, and I think it's true. Robin, were you sick? Someone's asking if you're doing better. And oh, I see, I see. I'm starting at the bottom and working up. And Robin, you've retired at 66 due to cancer. I hope you're doing better too. Mary says Jordan Peterson also has classes. He's another guy I enjoy watching. He's very intelligent. Simply Michelle's budget life. How can it be a large career to tell other people's children about the rule of three, and I don't know what that was, a small career to tell one's own children about the universe? Check Chesterton. I think the thing that bothers me about school, my daughter kind of uninvited me to school concerts because I was a little upset. My one grandson, instead of saying it was a holiday concert. Instead of saying, "We wish you a Merry Christmas," they changed it to, "We wish you a happy holidays." And all of us grandparents are going, "What? We can't say Christmas now?" We were talking in Bible study today, a little briefly that, there was a few years where you couldn't say Merry Christmas in stores and stuff, but now it's coming back. I think we have spoken. It's not that we don't want to ram religion down anybody's throat, but we just want to be acknowledged that we're Christian, and it's as simple as that. And Sacred Wonder is thanking Rick's retirement. And I missed what he said. Oh, Rick said, thank you for being an educator. And yeah, I mean, teachers, I think it's a labor of love. It really is. Marguerite, I never stopped saying Merry Christmas either, and nobody ever gave me any slack for it. In fact, it was hard shopping for a few years. I decided if they couldn't say have Merry Christmas on the walls and decorations, I didn't shop there for Christmas. Sacred Wonders, where I'm on Eastern Standard Time. So it's 8 o'clock. I was gonna talk for an hour, so um do we want to talk a little bit longer or should we wrap it up? And hi, Ride Free. I'm not sure if I know you or not. You're never too late to the party. Our favorite beverage is water tonight. Ride Free, what do you have? Oh, you're Lucy. Hi, Lucy. I think I know who you are now. How are you tonight? My nose is just not liking me today. So, Lucy, what part of the world are you in? Oh, thank you, Bride Free. I just got it posted before I logged on here. And Ramen had breast cancer. Are you a breast cancer survivor, I hope? Oh, Marguerite says, Ride Free, we've decided we're the new retirement party. Although I kind of joked at the last election that I wasn't going to vote for anybody older than me, but I didn't have much of a choice this last election. Well, thanks for stopping by, Rick. Um, hope to see you again. Aloha. Oh, right for you're in the UP of Michigan? I've been up there a few times. And Robin, we're glad to hear that you had breast cancer. So you must be okay now. I know Buzz from Buzz Retirement Garage, he mentioned he had some kind of cancer in his 40s. I forget what it was now. But he thinks he's not going to live to be 90. So I found that kind of interesting. He kind of thinks his life will be shorter because of his cancer. So Ride Free is moving down in 3 weeks. Um, Mary, I think he did have some kind of blood cancer, and I'm not up on medical stuff, but I think you're right. I don't think it was leukemia, but it was something along that line. Well, hi, Susie Q. How are you? And Lucy is is moving below the bridge. Is that where all the little trolls live? The little creatures before trolls on the internet. And if you well, you probably won't go to Mackinac Island, but the fudge there is great. And I've thought of going up into Michigan a little bit because they have cider mills. We don't have cider mills in Indiana, at least not near where I live. That was a part of my growing up. And Susie Q, what part of the world are you in? Oh, Robin says I can talk longer. Well, Ride Free, I'm glad you think this is a fun group. It makes me happy. And ride free is Lucy. I need to call you Lucy. Um, so Susie Q, I think you're new. I don't think I know who you are. Yeah, Marguerite Murdoch's fudge is in many places. I shop at Myers, and they're based out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and they have I think it's Hudsonville ice cream. And they have a couple fudge type ice creams, and it's supposed to be the good fudge. And let's see. Oh, Murdoch's. Okay. I wouldn't have caught that. Yeah, there's a couple, excuse me, there's a couple different um fudge fudge stores up there in at Mackinac Island. And can anybody say Tequamanon Falls correctly? You know you're from Michigan. If you can if you can say that. I like one of my dreams is I've got a book of all the lighthouses for the Great Lakes, and one of my dreams is to go see all the lighthouses. I have a long ways to go, but I've thought about taking um the Lake Michigan tour. Oh, and you're in Minnesota. Marguerite, no, I have not had the Grand Traverse Pie Company pie before. Interesting. Traverse City is a beautiful place to go. And I know there's is it the Bay? There's a bay. There's it's getting close to my bedtime. But there's all these grape orchards and apple orchards, and it is so beautiful there. So Susie Q, she's quiet. She's been around, just pretty quiet. Oh, Marguerite, you live 2 miles from the bay. Oh, northern Michigan is so pretty. I've thought about moving there, but I would miss my family. Grand Traverse Bay. I had a no, he was a cousin. I was thinking he was a nephew, but he was a cousin. He was a student at Interlochen. He played the French horn, and I got to go see him perform one time. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's kind of funny. My cousin, I think he was a year older. I think he was a year older than my son. And my son, well, they were obviously both teenagers, but my son, we went to Interlaken and watched this outdoor classical music concert. My son, he was just bored out of his gourd. Yeah, my cousin, he was just enthralled with all the classical music. It's a very beautiful place up there. So I think last week we had quite a few people from Michigan on this channel. Now that I think about it, I'm just a Hoosier. We moved from Michigan to Indiana back in 1972, and I was 16 years old, and I've never left the area. It's kind of a nice place. I've heard a lot of people saying that the area I'm in, it's a nice place to live. So I guess I'm kind of spoiled. Um, what else? Trying to think non-political things we can talk about. My brain kind of my brain kind of evolves that way, but I like to wear the retirement party. Um, so does anybody have any pets? I was talking here just before I came online that I was my neighbor's cat got out of her yard, so I was trying to help chase her back home. I'm not in a retirement center. Not quite ready for that. So hello, Relofin. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I'm a homeowner. I've lived in my home for 30 years and I love I I can do just about everything. Don't do ladders anymore, but that's about it. I think you are the only one from the South, Robin. So do you have much of a fall season in Georgia? Mary, I kind of think so too. I kind of wonder if he's not a real person. We'll find out pretty quick. I can be cynical when I want to be. And Susie Q, there are a lot of Midwest people here. Um, yeah, I've lived in the Midwest all my life. Now that I think about it. Yeah, Mary, I kind of hate to say where he's from. I went to the doctors about a month ago. My allergies were really bad, and my doctor couldn't see me, so I saw an associate, and the doctor's last name was spelled Cabe. So I thought, oh, his name is Cabe, and he pronounced it KB. And so I asked him where he was from, and my daughter said, "I can't believe he asked him." And I was polite about it. I said, "Just kind of curious." I said, "You know, KB isn't the way we normally pronounce the word cave." And he said he was from the Philippines and said that he didn't mind me asking. So I thought that was nice. Did Mark did Oh, we're just kind of talking about the strange guy. What's the favorite place you've ever visited? That's kind of a cool question. I went to um this is a kind of a longer story. Back before the internet was really, really wild, I I have a pen pal friend from the UK, and he came here once, and I went to England once, and we were platonic, very good friends, but that's all it was. And nobody believes me that we remained platonic, but we did. And he lived in Essex County, England, which is in southern England. And we went to Stonehenge, and that was it was a really cool place. There was something spiritual about it. I mean, you just kind of walked around the Stonehenge, and it was a really cool place to go. And then we went to Salisbury Cathedral was not too far away, and I didn't know it till I got there, but had one of the original Magna Carta's documents. I don't know what language it was in, but I couldn't read it. It kind of looked like Latin to me. So I think going to England. Hi Evie, glad you're here. Um, so what else did we do? Oh, we went to a couple different castles that I wouldn't have gone to because I wasn't a tourist. So that was pretty cool. And we did spend a day in London. So that was a cool trip for me. So Evie, I loved your video yesterday with your dad. And you took your bird and your dogs. It looked like you had a really fun time yesterday. And Evie, I is it Evie? I keep saying Evie, but I think it's Evie. You mentioned your dad started a YouTube channel. I haven't looked into that yet. Can we find it from your channel? Oh, Marguerite said it's medieval Latin. Evelyn. Okay. I'll have to remember Evelyn, Evie. I know someone need I know someone I get your name backwards. I am so sorry. Evie and Evie. Okay, Evie. Yeah, I'd like to get a link. Or can you put it in your comments on your YouTube channel? Oh, my nose. It keeps itching. And Evie, do you take your bird outside a lot? I noticed he was in a cage. And there's some talk about the northern Georgia mountains. And that does sound pretty. Ride free. I am very close to becoming monetized. When I checked this morning, I had like 3,700 watch hours. And if my YouTube video today does well, I may cross over to 4,000 and I'm kind of excited. I'll throw a party. I'll throw a YouTube party when I get there. Hi, Julie, Jordan, Scott. How are you today? He's retired. That is my dad's channel. Did I miss something? So yes, I'm really excited about the possibility of being monetized. And I felt kind of bad. A young lady, I guess it was a super chat, and she gave me a super chat, and I can't get the money till I have $100. So, so this money's sitting out there in airspace somewhere. And the sad thing is, she was from England, and she gave me a super chat of 27 pounds, and I forget what the ratio is. It's probably around $30 US dollars, but I'm only getting $13.69. So the powers that be get a big chunk of any super chat money. So I felt kind of bad because she, I didn't get much. And then I have to wait till I have $100 of revenue before I even get the money. So she had a kind heart, and I was thankful for that, but I feel kind of bad. I may never see it. Evie, I saw you're doing a post about tomorrow night, and I like the picture that you have where you're kind of looking off to the side. That was kind of a cool picture. Oh yeah, please hit the like button, everybody. And super chat. I didn't realize they took so much money, but there's other things like when you're monetized, I think you only get well, you get money from AdSense, but I think you only get 45% of the total AdSense. So YouTube gets most of it. AJ Wells, hi, you're from New York. Did you miss the party? No, we're still going. Ride free, buy me a coffee. I looked into that, and there's so many hoops and stuff you got to go through. I decide not to do it. I really don't want money from people, to be honest. I'm just excited that people are watching my channel, and the fact that I'm getting monetized just by people watching the channel, that's payment enough for me. I'm doing it kind of as a hobby, and I just don't expect anybody to to give me any money. Um, Kind of missing some of the chatter that's going on here. You people are talking too much. So, Julie and Evie are talking about a post. And I think, Evie, don't you have a live tomorrow night? I think I saw that. Oh, Evie, I'm glad to hear that. She said she started a second channel for Bible verses today. I will definitely check that out. I started a small channel. It's called Christian Walk Day by Day, and I haven't done much with it. I think I have 4 subscribers, and I did a little study on the Berean study method. I think I had 23 views, and I haven't done much with it. I think part of my me is I'm afraid I'll say something that's not totally Christian. So I guess you should pray before you talk. Make sure the Holy Spirit is putting words in your mouth instead of what my brain says. And Evie's channel is called Evie's Bible Verses. I'm really excited to hear that. And Julie, I guess you're not feeling well, so I hope you get to feeling better soon. And oh, this is kind of off the wall, but I found out in Bible study a couple weeks ago, a lot of moms were out, and turned out that mouth foot disease is going around. I hadn't heard that in years and years. So I hope it's not in your communities. It was here in Indiana. And Julie, whatever's wrong with you, I hope that you can rest up and get to feeling better soon. What else? See if I've missed anything here. And I see Karen helped Evie with a thumbnail. I'll have to see it. Look and see it. I'm sorry. Poor nose. Um, yeah, the things we talk about here. It's kind of crazy. Um, well, it's almost 8:30. I think I'm going to shut down. It's 8:24. So I'm going to talk for 6 more minutes. And last week I got brave and prayed a little prayer at the end. So I think I will do that again tonight. I didn't my YouTube channel didn't crash in the last weeks. So, um, but I just want to be a little more bold with my faith. AG Wells, yes, I'm making this a habit. I'm doing these every Thursday night. I think I did one on a Wednesday night, and I found out another YouTuber was doing Wednesday night, so I switched it to Thursday. And I think this is my 3rd Thursday in a row, but I want to make it a habit. And I'm kind of enjoying this. So I try to come up with a topic. I've named it "Let's Talk Thursday," and so I try to come up with a little icebreaker first thing in the evening, and then we talk, and that's kind of cool. So I'm finding all kinds of new friends here on the internet, and it's really kind of cool. And AJ Wells, what part of the world do you live in? Just kind of curious. Well, goodbye, Marguerite. I'm glad you stopped by. Take care. AJ Wells lives in New York State. And talk about pretty country. I've never been there, but I watch a couple of YouTube channels, and that part of the country seems pretty. We think of New York as New York City, but it's kind of like Chicago is in Illinois. Illinois is mostly cornfields. Okay, so Julie lives in 10 miles from the Hudson Valley in New Jersey. AJ Wills near Lake Placid. Oh gosh, I bet that's gorgeous out there. And what is in New York is the ant. It starts with an A. I couldn't pronounce it. I know the name if I see it's not aqueducts, but it's Adirondack or something. Um, I'm sure I'm saying the name wrong, but I've seen photos and it looks like that's a pretty place. There you go, AJ Wells. Adirondack Mountains. That's a place I'd like to go see sometime. In New Jersey, is New Jersey really the Garden State? I have heard that before. I know it's a small state. Oh, and Julie Jordan Scott says New York has the Catskills too. Hi, Simply Debbie. We're just getting ready to wrap up, but I'm glad you stopped by. I watched one of your videos. I don't remember which one it was now. I live on the outskirts of a town, and it takes me less than 5 minutes to be out in the country. Where I live, the urban sprawl is sprawling even more and more, and it's kind of sad to lose some of the farms. But oh, I said early in the talk tonight, I was in Shipshewana, and I was turning onto a street. I was waiting for the traffic to go by, and there was a young lady in an Amish buggy. She was reading a book. So I'm guessing the horse knew the way home, but that's kind of, I just found that ironic here. I have to use Google to get anywhere, but she's reading a book and the horse knew how to get home. So talk about technology. They're trying to invent cars that don't need people driving them. But yeah, it's kind of scary. I go up to Shipshewana once or twice a year, and I find it very scary. They have a little um, part of a road. It's for the Amish to drive their buggies. So you got semis on one side of you, and you got the Amish buggies on the other side of you. And then a lot of Amish up there have like a tricycle. It's a bicycle with an extra wheel. And I would find that even more terrifying to ride a bicycle or tricycle with all those semi trucks because it's a pretty busy road. Evie saw a video of some Amish kids going to jail in a buggy. They were drunk. The horse knew the way. I didn't understand the big deal. It's probably because they were minors, but I've heard too, alcohol's a big problem in the Amish world, and I've heard of the Rumspringer, Rumspringa, where teenagers are allowed to live like the English, and that some leave the Amish community and some don't. Rumspringa. There's a guy on YouTube. Actually, he's from Shipshewana area. It's called the Amish Potato, and he doesn't post a whole lot. But he moved to Idaho. I don't remember the story. He left the Amish community, moved to Idaho, and now he's back in Indiana. Or he may live like in Sturgis, Michigan, but kind of around that area. So he's been one person I've enjoyed watching over the years because he really was Amish, and he talks about the traditions. So, yeah, if you ever want to know about the Amish, check him out. Well, it is 8:31, and I'm going to say a quick prayer, and then I think we're going to call it a night. Father God, I thank you so much for this little community that is talking together on YouTube. It amazes me that we can talk from all over the area, and we all love you, Lord, or at least most of us do that are watching. And I just thank you for being with us, God. And there's a couple people mentioned that they're not feeling well, and I pray that you heal their bodies and help them to feel better. And I just ask that you be with us, Lord, today and in the coming days, and that you bless us and keep us strong in our faith. Thank you, God. Amen. Oh, Susie Q, you're going to be 62 tomorrow. Yay! Well, congratulations. I retired no less than 3 times. You know what, Susie Q? I did the same thing. I retired from a full-time job and I went back to work for a while. So, well, thanks everybody for being online tonight, and I hope you have a good rest of the week. And Evie is doing a live stream tomorrow. I think it's 7 o'clock, so we can all hop on over there and have another session with a session. We can all join together and talk about our day tomorrow. Well, thank you all. Oh, it's 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks, Evie. I will try to be there. And I'm starting to lose my voice. So I guess it's time time to call it a night. So good night, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Have to figure out how to turn it off now. End stream. Night.